Versus Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is ingenuity in a nutshell. Animated entirely with 3D models converted into sprite sheets, this mod certainly stands out with its style. With a collective 13 animatronics, this mod has a lot to go through, thus a lot to offer. Today, I will be breaking down this mod, discussing the main aspects that define its quality. Just like with Wednesdays of Fidelity, I will analyze the mod using these categories on a song-by-song basis, including any other noteworthy content. If you enjoy this content and want to see more, please leave a like and subscribe. The first week has you singing against the toy animatronics. Join the Band is a cheerful tune for a playful duel against Toy Freddy. Despite what he is, his poses suggest that he is there not as a foe, but as a friend. Just as he says, "I'm friends with everyone." Alright, time to start talking general. Almost every song has a mid-song event. For Toy Freddy, and most of the animatronics, it is an animation. You will see another type soon enough. It's not my fault. This complements Toy Freddy's dialogue and shows more of his friendly nature. His voice, along with others' voices, is based on his voice from Ultimate Custom Night and Special Delivery. All of his voice lines are taken from those games. The exceptions will come later. Now for the elephant in the room. Coot Doggo, what the fuck did you do? In the majority of charts, there are doubles and some have triples. I know that these are called jumps and hands, but saying double and triple is easier to understand. My logic for appropriate use of doubles and above are if there are multiple sounds playing at the same time. Here is an example. Listen to Boyfriend. Most songs do not do this, meaning the usage of doubles and above are inappropriate. If this mod had an intentional higher difficulty, then this would be fine, but since there is only one difficulty, this charting is unfitting. The Versus Five Nights at Freddy's 1 mod actually did this. I will treat this as a charting error because this is meant to be the base chart. With all of that out of the way, Join the Band is a well-made song that loses its perfect score due to excess doubles. Hop to It is against Toy Bonnie. This song threads the line of upbeat and mysterious, starting with the former and suddenly shifting into the latter. This type of event switches out a sprite, stage, or both with another. I like how Toy Bonnie keeps a foot on the wall, showing his confidence. The voices work quite well, so overall the song is great. Pecking Order is with Toy Chica. This song has the feel of an encounter with a strong opponent. This is also portrayed by the perspective of Toy Chica kneeling above Boyfriend. When Balloon Boy appears, the sound suggests that he stole Toy Chica's beak, making her more unhinged. Doubles are more prominent, and her voice is a bit techno. Alongside some well-timed dialogue, this song is alright. Cerberus, clever, is against the Mangle. Its voice is a technological sound derived from its glitchy voice. It also barks, which is likely based on some lore behind the Mangle. This song is more intense and has more of a techno feel to it. The art starts to stand out with the numerous sprites and animations. The jump scare visual has a bad timing to it, but the chart is pretty sparing with excess doubles. This song is so close to a perfect score, but I cannot give it one. The second week has you sing against the Withered animatronics. Fallen Star is a performance from Freddy Fazbear himself. This song has a really good name to describe its music. A star trying to reclaim the fame they fell from. His poses do well to support this, and when the sprites change, his idle poses are his positions from the original game. I love his voice, and even the note spam works well. The charting of this song has numerous errors, even if I exclude the excess notes. I really like this song, but I will not deny that it is hard to play. Faceless is Withered Bonnie's song. This is one of the few characters that has a naturally looping idle animation. Bonnie's voice could be based on his UCN voice, but it also sounds like an altered version of his guitar strums. The music presents Bonnie as a more intimidating figure with its techno-like tune. Just like Freddy, there is a sprite change that references his camera position in the original game. There are less excess doubles, but I can't excuse it. Overall, the song is strong. Broken Jaws is with Withered Chica, and is the first instance of triples. Like the Mangle, Chica's voice is a technological sound derived from her glitchy voice. More of her movement is with her head, focusing on her broken jaw. another camera reference, a small animation, and a similar sprite to the camera reference with its own animation. The music has a similar vibe to Bonnie's song, but it is a bit more lighthearted. Once the switch happens, it gets a bit heavy with the excess notes. Aside from that, the song is good. Pirate's Curse is against Withered Foxy. This is the first song to swap what side of the screen your notes will appear on. The timing of this indicator is alright in every instance, even in other songs, except for the first. It should have been sooner. Foxy has a few animations and a sequence of running in the hallway. The music is a horror-styled pirate theme, and Foxy's voice is the exact same voice he had in Versus FNAF 1. The vocals contain motifs to his songs from the previous mod, other songs contain other motifs, but his are the most apparent, and ends on a motif to Stardust Crusaders from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Overall, the song is great. The final week has 3 songs of considerable length. Eternal Playdate has you sing against all of the toy animatronics. Each section of the song is made from each animatronic's respective song. Since Toy Freddy is your friend, he actually sings with you against the other toys after his own section. The excess doubles are here from the start, become abusive by the time you reach Toy Chica, and the Mangles part turns them into triples, making them worse. Toy Freddy is in sync with Boyfriend, so doubles are still not justified. Toy Chica also presents the same issue that the Mangle did with the jump scare visual. Toy Freddy has a unique animation to show that he is trying to calm his friends by returning Toy Chica's beak. The tune is a good harmony for a finale-style song, but the chart is ruining it. Your Old Friends is the same idea as Eternal Playdate, except it features the Withered animatronics. Chica's portion introduces the doubles and triples, then Freddy continues and abuses them. Dialogue is used to transition between each animatronic, and Freddy in particular has multiple sprites and uses the jump scare visual in a more fair way. It is better with the chart compared to Eternal Playdate, making it a better song. Golden Vengeance is the finale in which you sing against Golden Freddy. Just like Versus FNAF 1, Golden Freddy is sick of the situation and wants to get rid of you, but the puppet is on your side, trying to quell Golden Freddy's rage. This does the same trick the original game did, making the situation seem like a sequel despite it being a prequel in time. The music paints the situation as a fated encounter with the final boss. Golden Freddy's voice is similar to his voice from the previous mod, while the puppet's voice is the exact same, a xylophone sound. The song explicitly motifs the Living Tombstone's Five Nights at Freddy's 2 song, much like how Versus FNAF 1 would motif Tombstone's song for the first game. There are also motifs to I Got No Time, the song for the fourth game. After a given point, the puppet sings solo against Golden Freddy, and eventually sings a sorrowful tune, acknowledging Golden Freddy's pain as the security puppet. The excess doubles and triples are not playing around once they start appearing, but the smaller note density gives it a good flow, so the song stands as great. One last thing to mention are the numerous cutscenes across the story. All animated in Source Filmmaker, they tell a good narrative and give a lot of character to the animatronics. With the story completed, let's look at the songs in free play. Helium is an upbeat song for Balloon Boy. This is the first song to not have excess doubles, but it did something just as bad. There are some note patterns that are unnecessarily tough to play, and this is the first song to have a mechanic. When JJ appears, she will start covering the UI with transparent balloons along with her sign and her head. It starts off calm, but it soon becomes a bit excessive. The vocals contain condensed bursts of heavy note spam. If the song was meant to be annoying because that is how Balloon Boy is perceived, then it certainly did that. But from a general stance, while the music and art are great, the charting could have been better. Gamer Fazbear is based on Toy Freddy's function in UCN. He sings against Mr. Hugs by himself for a while, but eventually Mr. Hugs starts making vacuum noises since that is what he is. The song ends with Mr. Hugs jump scaring Toy Freddy, who then proceeds to take his anger out on the Night Guard. The music has a good rhythm, and even the note spam has a good flow. This is a simple yet effective song. Challenge Fred is a remix of Challenged and Mix. I don't see the relation of concept aside from Ed's friendly personality matching Toy Freddy, and how the mangle hangs on the ceiling being similar to Tord's towering robot. The voices do not have the greatest synergy with the music, and the differences in the pitch for specific notes do not work well with the music. It did copy the mechanic, but I would argue that the mechanic in the remix is worse. After a certain point, Tord will shoot missiles. These are perfectly rhythm-based with an indicator telling you which note to hit. Because of this, it is more acceptable that missing results in death. For Challenge Fred, the indicator's rhythm is not quite the same, the note is not faster, and instead of killing you, it will always bring you to borderline no health. Along with a few charting errors, this song is mediocre. I don't even know where to begin with this one. The setting is Gary's mod, the animation is awkward, the music is very simplistic, the voices have an okay rhythm, the BPM does not match the song, the charting is terribly out of sync and inaccurate, and then there's this.
I'm going to turn into Satan now.
Why is this in the mod? Because it's a joke. That's why. In spite of what I just discussed, Welcome is even stranger. How? Because it is a parody of a terrible FNF song by the same name. The rhythm of the voices and the sound of Freddy's voice are awful, while Freddy's poses and the chart are just as bad as the previous song. It did its job, but the song is still horrible. Enigma is technically the last free play song in the list in which you sing against Shadow Freddy. This song does well at building atmosphere, such as the glitchy overlay and the name of the game window changing. The song is very mysterious with some intensity, and Shadow Freddy's voice is static. After some time, Shadow Bonnie shows up, whose voice is a technological sound, and the two will sing together. They both have a naturally looping idle animation and a great flow for their vocals. The only issues with this song are charting errors. The last songs I will talk about are the songs from the Versus Withered Freddy mod. This mod had a different story, thus it had different logic and different visuals. Night Shift is a simple tune against Withered Freddy. Boyfriend and girlfriend have their base sprites, and the lighting could be a bit brighter to fit with the cutscene. The music is alright, but the voices don't work well with the music. Add in multiple charting errors and a mediocre flow, and the song is okay at best. Flashing Lights uses a remix by Dehusta for its music. It uses a different angle of the same room, and a bunch of animatronics are spectating. The voices have a good flow, but the gameplay is where this song suffers. There is a music box that you have to keep wound up, but in order to do so, you have to hold the left mouse button while hovering over a UI button. This basically forces you to play the chart with one hand. But it doesn't end here. There are warning signs in the chart that will disable the music box button if you hit them. To fix it, you have to click on one of the stripe notes. Not hit, click. This is one of the worst mechanics I have ever dealt with. Couple it with Balloon Boy's opaque distractions and the puppet's poses sometimes not working, and this song is a terrible experience with good aesthetics. Shadows is a song against Shadow Bonnie inside an arcade machine. The music is an intense tune based on the Happiest Day minigame from Five Nights at Freddy's 3. The main verse is good, but the other vocals are simply okay. Shadow Bonnie uses its Atari sprite, but does change to a 3D model for a brief moment near the end. There's also the fact that the screen constantly flashes white, which is both disorienting and distracting. The chart does not have much variety to it, and then there are the hurt notes. The note with the pink outline is a stereotypical hurt note, but each time you hit a glitched looking note, your screen will be covered in remnant. This would be an issue if it worked. With all things considered, this song is mediocre. Now, how did these songs change in Versus FNAF 2? Night Shift got an upgrade to its music, voices, and art. The chart is better, but it still has an error. Overall, the song is a lot better. Flashing Lights got rid of its mechanics and focused on atmosphere. The puppet has voice lines and a new sprite that has its poses returned to idle. Again, the voices and chart are better, but the chart does have an error. This song has also majorly improved. Shadows now takes place in the office, which is where you could find Shadow Bonnie in the original game. The chart has more variety, and it does a unique style of movement for the main verse. There is now a shift in art later in the song, and the voices have been slightly changed. Yet again, there is a charting error, but the overall changes are positive. That is everything that the mod has to offer. Here are my overall scores for the mod. Versus FNAF 2 gave a fair amount of attention to each animatronic, providing a lot of variety across all of the songs. I was surprised that this mod had very few mechanics when Versus FNAF 1 had a mechanic for each of the main animatronics, but it chose to put its focus on creating a great atmosphere, which I feel is much better. The chart should have had more than one difficulty if it wanted to do what it did, but it still has a great feel to make for an enjoyable experience. Feel free to share your thoughts on the mod in the comments below. Until next time.